the massive scale killing never happened in any country. It never happened in the contemporary history. That's where it was. Now India, what India should do, India should demand an investigation into war crimes. India should vote against Sri Lanka. There is nothing wrong. India should take a position. If we look at India, and the China is a bogey, it's a blackmail used by Sri Lankan government.
Right, but when we compare it to Syria, this idea, when we compare it to Syria or to Myanmar, happening in Myanmar or in Syria, but whether the government will respond to these regimes, it did not really respond to against the military regime.
No, that is a different issue.
That is a different issue. I'll come back to you.
Because Madam Aung San Suu Kyi, when she criticized India's position,
I'll come back to you,
let us
Mr.
not
Raja.
get into it.
Yeah,
let us look
I'll
at
come back
Sri
to
Lanka.
you. Yeah, I'll come back to you, Mr. Iyer, on this whole issue. Time now for me to take a short break. Next when we come back, we'll discuss more on this. Also, the domestic politics.
As it was mentioned here about China, you see, those are not the issues. Issues is the problem there, the original dignity. The original problem was the dignity. Since that was not addressed, and you know, today in Southern Asia, which is positively discriminating against a section of the people, that is in Sri Lanka, where Tamils are debarred from taking some jobs. And so there is a huge redress that we have not seen happening. Now, if Rajapaksa were to honor his own commitment, the speech that he gave, so they declared the war was over. If we go back to that very declaration, which was partly addressed in Tamil, I think there is a solution. On the other hand, we are seeing already the political parties in Sri Lanka are already jostling to say that, no, we need to entirely devolution of power in a different way. And Rajapaksa's answer is, you see, there is yet to be any political even dialogue, what they need. And dialogue. His plea is the Tamil, the National Alliance is not at all working. They have to come. I mean, as Rajapaksa, in his, one would have expected in his large-heartedness. Now, this was a great opportunity for Sri Lanka.
Who is to be blamed for this retraction?
The responsibility has to be taken by Rajapaksa himself, because in fact, most of his brothers are in the government. And okay, you set up a commission, as it was mentioned. Now, nothing has happened. In the face of, you find human rights groups, and there have been several stories. And the most, what captured the Indian newspaper, Prabhakaran's son.
Yeah.
But I think this is an opportunity, and it's an opportunity.
As far as the Sri Lankan government is concerned, because even in the last meeting of the United Nations Human Rights Council, we saw that there was last year also, which, as Mr. Langon said, was to some extent diluted, because of India. No fear. What is it that is not, keeping the government very at bay?
The tendency of the Colombo government has to be, this is one meeting, this is one more, and rather Rajapaksa counts on the public opinion in India, to work in his favor by saying that, no, this is overplaying and this has nothing to do with actual situation. But that is not so. Now, for instance, a couple of years, we have seen our advice, our national advice, security advisor have said twice. I mean, this underscores the fact policy Mandarin sitting in the South Bloc realize that things are not moving forward.
Right, and it is indeed a key foreign policy issue. This
is an opportunity, and India must. It's not about which resolution passed in human rights, and how are we, because the issue is real problem there.
Right. So India must grab this opportunity. Your comments, Mr. Raja. Yeah.
As a nation, we are trying to build good neighboring countries. That is why we are trying to improve our relationship with China, promoted with China and Pakistan. Sri Lanka, why does India fear about China? Why China is a scare or some kind of threat in taking a position on Sri Lanka? I have been insisting that India should take a moral political position on Sri Lanka. On one side, India is striving for becoming a member of UN Security Council. And it is a legitimate claim of India, and we want our country to be in the UN Security Council. When we have such an ambition, political ambition, India should show on principles.
I guess we're making a very pertinent point. Your comments on this, Mr. Langovan, that on one side you have to take a stand which is right morally, because on one side you are asking for a permanent seat in the Security Council, and on the other,
when vote takes place, India should vote against Sri Lanka. There should not be hesitation on the part of India, because in the last year India voted Sri Lanka, but India did dilute the content of the resolution. How it played a crucial role in diluting the content of resolution. Finally, it
right, so India should concern on this issue.
Having said that, it is not only casting vote.
Yeah.
India should take certain political initiatives to Russia. India should talk to US question in Sri Lanka, because India knows better than any other country.
So India should proactively involve itself in this issue. Thank you very much, Mr. Raja, for joining us in this short break. Next one we come. Welcome back. You're watching Public Forum, and in this forum we are discussing the Sri Lankan Tamil crisis in Sri Lanka. Coming back to you, Mr. Manoharan, when we talk about the one argument that keeps coming up is that no one speaks for them, also because the opposition in the country is very fragmented. They don't have a leader. Right, so is that so?
Yeah, when you look at who represents Tamil community, elements come to the fore. One is the local Tamil polity. When LDT was there, it was a dominant military representation of Tamils. As long as that was there, I think that was even LDT was even representative kind of mode. But after LTT, when you look at the present polity, there is a TNA of other Tamil parties which is polarized and divided. So this is very unfortunate thing. One of the views are not put forward properly. And then the second segment is Sri Lankan Tamil diaspora, again polarized. There is one Rudrakumaran gang, another spread across the comes the other segment of the diplomatic segment.
The strength and also the representation of Tamilians in the country with time. This is what Mr. Manoharan has to say. But if we talk about the international opinion on Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan government is not really paying heed to what is being said. In fact, we are not supposed to be told about what we should do in Sri Lanka. So the kind of response that is coming in, also how difficult the situation it is for Sri Lankan Tamilians.
It is really difficult. See, earlier, the problem between Tamils and Sinhalese started in the year 1948, immediately after independence of Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan government brought in resolution called Sinhala only. Since then the fight started. Since they were fighting. There was a the United TULF, Tamil United Liberation Front, and more number of MPs from the north and the east. But they decided to address the issues. They will fight, enter into a war. Only then this LTT and various groups started. The issue had started in the year 1948. Since then, nobody
against Tamils. That had not been redressed. B, the whole issue was, see, the original problem started with, the point was the 1983 riots. You had the Velikad prison riots. Subsequently, you saw the whole issue in a very democratic way. If you, okay, today you have if you allow this situation to carry on like this, you are creating a situation where the Tamils there will be. So why allow the snake to, I mean, the grass to grow and the snake to come? If you consider, as a, a necessary, I mean, it's an evil that has. Therefore, I think all that both Colombo and New Delhi itself provides the way forward how both countries should, look at that issue.
But Mr. He would rather want a unitary state. Do you think now is the time for India to respond and say that this is not what we want? Stand not because of domestic pressure, because the explanation is also coming in because of DMK, because of AIADM. Right.
Whenever the foreign people, they give statistics, but
exactly,
things will have to be, justice will have to be not only done, they will have to be seen to be done.
And if actions are not really pre-2009 scenario.
Absolutely, and that's a real danger, because let us realize one thing.
And fraud, so the intentions looked very genuine.
United Sri Lanka, it is India.
Right.
Even in the parliament the other day if you hear the Rajya Sabha debate, across party lines, member after member was very keen. I mean, nobody spoke of Illam. People said, please ensure that Tamils live with dignity and honor with their Sinhalese brothers.
Right. In their due political space, this is what the Tamilians in Sri Lanka are asking for. Time now for us to take a short break. Next, when we come back in our final segment, we'll discuss the road ahead. Stay tuned. We will get to know about the real stand of India on this issue on March 15th, when to understand that what is it that India, in which way India wants to respond on the Sri Lankan Tamilian crisis. Thank you very much, Mr. Iyer, for joining us in this program. Pleasure having all of you here. And that's all we have for you in this edition of Public Forum. Thank you very much for watching. Namaskar.